Hey guys, welcome to the All Sports Pass Podcast North. My name's Eli,
Hi, Max.
and today we're going to be covering the 2025 NASCAR Echopark Automotive Grand Prix. This is the Cup Series for this week. Of course, we missed the Xfinity race, so yeah, but it is what it is. Um, but before we get in this video, you already know I got to start with the verse of the day. Today's verse comes from 1 John 5:13. It says, I write these things to you who believe in the name of the Son of God, that you may know that you have eternal life. Now, before we get in this video, leave a like, subscribe for more NASCAR content. And keep in mind, guys, like this is just a few of the one-offs that you'll see me do. Because like Max here does a really good job of covering NASCAR, but hey, you know what? I figured I'll just join him on this one just because, hey, if y'all know, I've been out with some allergies, so I need to get caught up. So, yeah. But without further ado, let's begin the video. Um, so this week we got the first road course race of the year. It's at Circuit of the Americas, and it's going to be a bit different from the last 2-3 years because they're actually racing on a shorter layout this time. And in my opinion, I really think it's a good idea because, like, if you noticed the racing last year, it was like the last 3 years, it was not what I thought it was going to be.
I mean,
Um,
2021 was pretty good. That was
yeah,
good
because
at
they
the end.
raced in the rain.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's also where my guy at the time, Martin Truex, pretty much nearly went up and over.
yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna be honest. In seeing this race like these last few years, like the race just ended up being like a lackluster. But I think it was because of this, like just because of the length of the track. It took so long to complete a lap. Like 68 laps are just too long, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be running it on that setup, on that layout, I mean. I think, of course, that now you have the shorter track now. I think that's going to make for some interesting racing. Because hey, it was like I believe on the long layout, it was like I want to say 3 minutes to complete a lap, and that's just excuse me, that was just way too long of a that was way too long of a lap time for me. Like I pretty much now, of course, I'm going to be honest. Like even though I'm a NASCAR fan, I end up falling asleep probably in stage one, stage two, and I somehow wake up for stage three. um, I guess I guess you say after going to church on Sunday, you eat yourself a big lunch, you accidentally fall asleep to the sound of the race cars. I guess. um, yeah. Um, basically, the qualifying time now, now it's like it looks like it's going to take a minute 38. Like that's the max that we got. Um, um, to make a lap around. And the slowest time and the fast time was Tyler Reddick, and he ran a 1:38.76. And then we have Bo Wallace, who is his teammate, um, who's starting next to him, running a minute 38.300. And but I think there's someone here that's kind of shocking to me that's up here, and that's Carson Hocevar. Now, of course, Hocevar is facing a bit of controversy from last week, but if I'm being honest, like, speaking of Carson, like, I understand he's racing and all, but come on, man, you got to be racing clean,
Yeah.
like, because hey, he's just making more enemies on that track. And it kind of reminded me of like, dang, what the NASCAR Heat games where you ran a career and where you ticked off a driver so much they end up
Yeah.
sending threatening
Oh, yeah.
tweets.
Yeah. I had all of Joe Gibbs coming after me back in.
Yeah. I remember one time I think it was like here it started a little bit off topic, but this is funny. And I was oh man, I deserve this one. Where I was like racing for the win at like Canadian Tire, which honestly I kind of missed that track, honestly. Um and ended up, actually wrecking Regan Smith for the win, or maybe it was halfway accidental. um and he ends up messaging me the next day or something. No, after the race. Sorry. He ends up messaging me saying, "So you try to take me out to win the race? Not cool." but he nearly won sideways. But he came like I think just this close to the start finish line. Yeah. But I think of course but I do think of course that Carson, in my opinion, if he's going to succeed in here, like don't get me wrong, he's been competitive these last few weeks, like these last couple of weeks. Of course, with Atlanta, he nearly gets his first Cup win, but unfortunately, the caution comes out before he can make the pass on Christopher Bell. Um, and now he's starting fourth at COTA. So what do you think about that? Like, do you think Hocevar we can see as a contender this week?
Oh, definitely. Now, obviously, can be the Xfinity Series race. He crashed out early,
Mhm.
but I think tomorrow he'll be like really fast. Probably lead some laps, then finish like top five.
Yeah, I think so as well. But of course, I think turn one they call it Big Red. I think like I don't really keep up with like the turn names like as much as I used to. Um, but hey, that's probably gonna be the most chaotic part of the track in my opinion. The thing about it is that you're gonna have to if you're gonna get through if you're gonna even have a shot to win the race, you're gonna have to get through there unscathed because like that's probably the in my opinion, like I could be wrong, probably the biggest corner I've ever seen in my life, and the tightest as well. So it's going to be interesting. But however, I do think with the shorter layout, I do think that the cars will be able to they'll be able to stay together a little more because you have a bit more braking spots and everything, and that's just what I think. And also, I'm gonna admit, like I did not. I watched some of the Xfinity race, but Tennessee, Alabama coming on, which I may end up recording about actually after this video. Um, like I honestly think that it was pretty good. I got to see some close racing. There are some cars making contact though, and I think we're gonna, and I think that means that if everyone's that close, it's gonna be interesting to see how that happens. So of course, I'm just curious because like you finished the Xfinity race, right?
Yeah.
What'd you see like with things like I quit watching like just before the first stage ended.
So like like g- with like 7 to go. Carson Carapol get kind of zealot for like racing really close for the lead, but Carson Carapol like you used up his tire rub. Can't believe it. Get tired like 4 to go, sending him like all the way right to the back.
Mm.
And like before that, Austin Hill was leading, and then he went from like Busch to fourth in like 5 laps.
Well, here's the thing. I think that, of course, for a track this big, you're like, I think the tires are going to be the issue. I don't think it's the fuel. Now, of course, I do think, of course, you still have to manage your fuel and everything. But if you're going to get but for tires, you're going to have to manage your tires, and you're going to have to be there at the end. Um, but yeah, now taking a look at the Cup side of things, though, um, well, I do think, of course, that I don't really see too many shocking starting spots for me here, but I do notice this that the winner of the Xfinity Series race is actually starting in 14th,
Yeah.
and we also have Todd Gilliland starting 10th, and that's just really all I think. That I don't really see too much that really shocked me here.
Any Daniel Suarez to starting top five is pretty shocking. The same with Kyle Busch starting eighth.
Yeah, but the reason why I don't think it's shocking to me for Suarez because Suarez has won on a road course before.
Oh yeah,
Now, yeah,
yeah.
it was at
Plus,
Sonoma, but yeah,
yeah. Plus, there's like big pressure on him because this is his contract year. So if he doesn't do good, then he won't be returning to track next year. Especially with Pitbull leaving.
mm. um, and I'm going to be honest, like I really think that, of course, um, for Suarez, well, I also think he's good to get like don't get me wrong, everybody's talking about that crazy Atlanta finish, 2024, where he ended up winning, in like that and probably closest finish ever.
Well, closest free white finish ever.
Yeah. the next week ended up having the closest finish ever, but which I still debate to this day who won. Um, but I do think that Suarez, if he can put himself in the right place at the right time, he's gonna win it. I'm sorry, not win it, but like he'll be fine in my opinion. But there's also like Bubba Wallace also put out a post yesterday that we also saw. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. There we go. Finally found it. It says that Bubba pretty much said that that if he's thinking about retiring if he's not competitive after this year.
I don't believe that.
You say you believe that?
No, I don't.
Same here. Like I have. Do you think he's just doing it as a stunt or something?
No, well, because on his documentary on Netflix, he says but like he struggles with depression. So I think he's like really struggling now.
Mm, yeah. And I don't remember the last time he won. I think it was
Kansas 2022.
yeah that
Always.
yeah.
I've
But
been
you're saying he
noticing
wasn't
in
even
the duel.
yeah. But like I'm not counting the dual win because like that's not a real race. That was just to determine the lineup.
Yeah,
Um, Now, of course, I think it was good that he won, but you're racing with like half the field. Um, and in 2022, he wasn't even in the 23 when he won.
yeah,
He won.
right.
He was in the 45 because he was subbing for Kurt Busch because of the fact that the 45 was still eligible for the owners championship. Um, yeah, and I just think Bubba, like, I think that, like, don't get me wrong, like, I think Bubba's a very talented driver. It's just, I think he's just the pressure gets to him a bit.
Yeah.
All right. So for this week, I do think, of course, that this might end up being a shorter video than I thought. But I was wondering, like, what do you think about the shorter layout? Like, I think we've already answered this, but what do you think about the shorter layout for COTA compared to years
I,
past?
I think it's like way better, especially for stock cars, because like COTA was made for like Formula One.
Hmm. I'm gonna be honest. I'm also shocked IndyCar hasn't considered racing there because that'd
They
be good
did
for
it,
them.
like, but they stopped doing it.
Oh, well, here's that. Then it must have been like before I was able to like really watch IndyCars. So yeah, because I was not able to keep up with the schedule with it. Like it was pretty complicated. Um, but for Formula One though, like yes, use the full layout. But for stock cars, that they're not going to be able to run that,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But I think of course they know it's going to be interesting what we see tomorrow. But I do think that of course no, I really don't have a pick to win. I usually don't have a pick to win until like once you see it's kind of like football. You don't know how you go until you get through like maybe the first 3-4 weeks of play, and then you see how good a team really is. That's really what I think. So I'm just gonna give it a toss up this week for this win.
Oh, for me, my birthday prediction will be Saint Van Gisbergen, just because he's like really good at road courses. He almost won it again in Xfinity last year. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's gonna win
but
it this week.
the thing about SVG though is that can he can he stay out of trouble? That's the thing. Because COTA is a pretty it can be full of chaos. So can he get out of it? That's just what I think. Yeah. And anything you want to add?
No.
All right. Well, let's get in the video for today, guys. If y'all like this video, get a like, subscribe for more NASCAR content. Um, and yeah, that all being said, peace out. God bless, and have a good day.